talking about exercise, in fact, even being a science, the vast majority of bodybuilders today still seem to have the idea that their purpose is to go into the gym like a macho dummy, to see how many sets they can do or how long they can endure. Obviously, a bodybuilding workout is not an endurance contest. Remember, bodybuilding is not aerobic, it's anaerobic. How do you define aerobic? Low intensity, long duration. Bodybuilding, which is anaerobic, is high intensity, short duration. You cannot succeed optimally at bodybuilding by misapplying a misunderstood principle from aerobics and applying it to anaerobics. It doesn't work. And yet that's in the vast majority of cases, that's the way bodybuilders train today, with the idea that more is better. Now, many other bodybuilders, including Dorian Yates, some of the people who call me on the phone, seem to have the idea that what the purpose is to do merely less than what the knuckleheads are doing. Well, the point there is, since the knuckleheads ain't got the slightest clue as to what they're doing, to do merely less is kind of dumb also. It's one of those forms or variations of the idea, the blind leading the blind. Knuckleheads were doing 400 sets 8 days a week, and you only did 100 sets 5 days a week. That's a hell of a lot less, but it ain't good enough. Remember, I said that exercise science is a part of, a branch of, it flows from, is a part of medical science, both of which are based on an understanding of the principles of human physiology. Let's go to the idea of scientific precision. If you were going to go into surgery tomorrow, you would very much want the anesthesiologist, the guy who puts you to sleep, to inject your body with only the precise amount of chemical compound required to induce a state of anesthesia. If you were being wheeled into the surgical suite and you overheard the anesthesiologist say, "Pump them up," just like in bodybuilding. "Pump them up." "Pump them up," said the anesthesia. "Give them more. More is better. More anesthesia is better than less." Right? I'd jump off the stretcher and run out the freaking door if I heard him say that. Or let's say he was being wheeled into the surgical suite and he overheard the anesthesiologist say something slightly different, like, "Let's give Stoney a little bit less anesthesia than we gave that guy yesterday. We killed the poor bastard." You wouldn't feel very good either, would you? Now, here's my point. Remember, exercise science being a branch of medical science, we're still dealing with human physiology. In this particular instance where life and death is obviously the issue, it is very easy to see or grasp why scientific precision is so crucially important. However, that same principle from medical theory carries over and has direct application to bodybuilding theory, where again we're still dealing with delicate human physiology. However, in bodybuilding theory, we're not looking to inject anybody with a chemical to induce anesthesia or muscular hypertrophy. However, it does, and this is the part that excites me if you want a deeper insight into this. Ultimately, it does come down to biochemistry. Do you see where it's not inconceivable in the near future where biochemists may finally identify the precise biochemical changes that lead to muscular growth in human beings and inject you with a chemical which, unlike steroids, you wouldn't even have to train. Your muscles would hypertrophy. What would you call any more of the medicine than the doctor prescribes? Overdosing. Overtraining is overdosing. Now, here's the point. At present, we don't have that knowledge. We don't have that chemical. We have to produce the biochemical changes, not with a chemical compound, but via the imposition of a high-intensity training stress. Any more than the doctor prescribes is Overtraining. But it's overtraining. It's like overdosing on a medicine. Any more than is required to produce the result is excessive and it's dangerous. Does that help you at all? Remember what the stimulus is, ma'am, that triggers on the growth machinery. The last rep of a set carried to failure. You only ever need to do one set of any exercise. Now, if you're talking about this in terms of the context of a total workout, you keep a training progress chart always. Your training progress chart is your best friend. Almost every single person in here, I would bet, not everyone, but almost every single person in here makes the mistake of evaluating their workouts by the standard of feeling. Well, gee, I feel like I did. I have a lot of new clients. They'll come into the gym for their first workout. It's over in 17 minutes. They say, well, Mr. Mentzer, I feel like I can do more. And I say, well, sir, what would you have me do? Train you until you can't do any more and we've got to call the ambulance? Remember, this is not an endurance contest. This is a bodybuilding workout. The goal is to go into the gym and do what nature requires in the way of imposing the training stress, stimulate the growth mechanism into motion, then go home and grow.